Joining us now with more, Florida Congressman Byron Donalds is with us. Sir, how are you? Great to have you.
I'm doing good, Sean.
Well,
good to be with you.
I got to see some clips of you later. You were up against, what, 4 or 5 liberals all at once. It's like, 4 or 5 on one. But you got your points across. What is it about Donald Trump, or any conservative for that matter, that seems to trigger the mob and the media?
It's because when you have conservatives who are committed to the facts and frankly who are not afraid to dish those facts out left and right. You mentioned last night it was 4, 5, 6, 10. The number doesn't really matter. When you're prepared with the right information, the truth, and you're not afraid to dish it out, they don't know how to respond to that. So the immediate thing is they typically lash out. Look, last night, I'm just trying to make a comment, and already 3, 4, and 5 of them are trying to jump in. But you got to stay focused, because at the end of the day, the truth of what is happening in this country is what matters more than anything that silly reporters try to talk about. I mean, look at our current president. This guy has 3 bank failures and has lost 3 embassies on his watch. That's a disaster for America. And so it requires Republicans and conservatives to be strong in this position, be armed with the facts, and go into any situation and don't take their bait. Come with the facts and push back hard.
And this network is known for lying for 3 long years, being wrong about so-called Trump-Russia collusion that never happened. We got it right on this program. Thankfully, we've been vindicated now many times, starting with the Horowitz report. Let me ask you specifically about what town hall should be about, because I felt like Caitlin Collins was really doing a job for her fellow, quote, journalists that are not journalists. They're talk show hosts like me. They're just not honest. And not for the people. Because I think if you ask somebody, a candidate, a question, whether you agree with the answer or don't agree with the answer, why don't you let them finish the answer and then do a follow-up question and say, well, then why didn't A, B, or C happen? Why did she feel that she had to be the special pleader for all things left wing?
I mean, well, look, personally, I think it was her own Super Bowl. I mean, look, Caitlin's been doing this a long time. I've done interviews with her on that network, and I think that this was her time in the spotlight, being opposite the #1 guy in our party, being Donald Trump. So I think that's part of it. Number 2, it was clear that CNN's position was to do anything they could to keep bringing up all of the old stuff, all of the narratives that they continue to push, and to ignore the realities of what's happening in America today. And so I credit President Trump for, frankly, keeping his composure with this onslaught from her and being focused on the things that matter to the voters of our country and not to the political class and not to the punditry that, frankly, has gotten it wrong so much more than it's gotten it right.
And by the way, have we not litigated January 6th to death? Have we not litigated the 2020 election to death? Aren't elections about the future? We now have an economy where 60% of our fellow Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Do we not see China on the march? No consequences for a spy balloon that flew all around our country. No consequences for Russia taking out one of our drones. No active response by Joe Biden when you have an alliance of China, Russia, Iran. That should scare every American, in my view.
No, you're absolutely right. But the press, especially the liberal press, they can't focus on the present. Look at what we brought out through the Oversight Committee under the leadership of James Comer. We've documented that Joe Biden and his family have taken money from the Chinese and from Romania. We've documented that. They don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about the southern border. All the things, Sean, that you talk about. The only thing that will keep their agenda alive, and at the end of the day, America, it is about the radical left agenda for the press. It's about that agenda. And the only thing that keeps that agenda alive is to talk about the past and to talk about these other things. I think American voters, they understand what happened on January 6th. It really was a really tough day for our country, but they're looking at what's going on now, and they're looking towards the future. And we need a commander-in-chief who's focused on getting America back on track.
All right, Congressman Byron Donalds, thank you. We appreciate you being with us.